Well, hey there, everybody. It's me, Esther. Today I want to talk to you about the upcoming lunar eclipse. It is happening on May 16th in the sign of Scorpio at 12:15 a.m. Eastern Time. That's right after midnight. So for some of you, it may be happening on the 15th. And this is the bookend eclipse to the solar eclipse that we had on April 30th. I researched this eclipse. I also sat to get messages for you. And what came through to me is that this eclipse is going to be deeply transformative to everybody. And I'm looking for some revelations or shakeups as well on the universal scene. The information I want to share with you will help you to understand what this eclipse season means for you specifically, and may give you some clues on what is going to unfold over the next 6 months. So grab a coffee, grab a tea, sit down, watch this through. I really believe that there's going to be some profound information and connections that you are going to make. I had a huge aha that I'm kind of excited about, and I hope you are as well. All right. So for those of you to whom I am new, my name is Esther Bartkiw. I'm a core belief therapist. The therapy I do is based on the premise that what you believe is what you create in your life. So if you are not creating what you want in any area of your life, that tells us that you're holding on to limiting beliefs and systems that are created around it, right? Behaviors, patterns, coping skills, holding on to childhood trauma, whatever it might be. I help you to discover, explore, and change that so you can shift your inner world and then shift your outward reality. All right? Okay, so let's dive into lunar eclipse energy. All right. Lunar eclipse is always a full moon. The moon rules emotion. Okay, we tend to get emotional around the full moon. This is going to be extra, right? Because it is an eclipse. So you might have an upheaval of emotion, but the potential for purging that emotion is just as big as well. Full moons are about letting go and release and closing chapters. And that may happen in a very dramatic way in your life or in the people around you or something also on the world scene. The total lunar eclipse means that the moon is going to completely go dark and then revealed again. And that tells us that whatever transpires under this lunar eclipse sky is going to be big and bold and very important to everyone. Okay, so while Scorpio placements are going to feel this the most, as I'm tuning in, I'm getting that everybody's going to have an eclipse moment during this lunar eclipse. So the piece I'm being asked to really zero in with you is the letting go. All right, because if you're ready to let go of something, like truly you've done the inner work and you're ready to let go of something, these lunar eclipse energies are going to come in, sweep them up, and release them from you. If you're not sure, if you kind of know that it needs to go, but you're not sure, you've got a fear, a worry, concern, fear of the unknown, change, whatever it might be, that person, that situation may be wrestled away from you. Okay, think about it in this way. When a small child picks up something that is dangerous to them, and they're looking at it and they're curious, but it's not good for them, and a parent comes rushing over and grabs it and snatches it out of their hands because this is not good for you, but the child is shocked, it was curious, it was looking at it, and all of a sudden it knows that, ooh, there's this big energy that came, took this away, now I don't have it in my hands anymore, and the child goes into shock and cries, right? It was ripped out of their hands. That could happen under this lunar eclipse sky. So don't grip onto anything tightly. And if you know you're gripping onto something tightly, you know something needs to change and go in order for you to live the life that you desire, take these next days to do the inner work, to come to terms with it, whether it's addressing fear of change or fear of the unknown or worry or concern or whatever it might be. I don't want to be left alone. What if I go broke? Whatever the belief is, look at it. Because always my suggestion is let it go. It's so much harder when universe comes and wrestles it away. Okay, so this is one of those full moon eclipses where a snatching could definitely happen. All right, especially if you have emotional attachment to something, an emotional attachment. So let's build on that. The message I'm getting is that this full moon lunar eclipse will bring to light anywhere that you might be out of touch with reality. Okay, so let me give you some examples of that. You were in a relationship with someone, they came to you and they said, it's over, I'm gone, I'm moving on. And you're not processing it very well. In fact, you might be thinking, you know what, I just need to do my inner work. They're going to do their inner work. We're going to come back together. This is meant to be. This is my soulmate. That's your mindset. And you know what? That absolutely can happen. But at the same time, your partner has moved on, started dating someone else, living with them now, about to get married. Their life is going in another direction, and you're still in this delusion that you're going to get back together again. Or maybe you've got a situation with your health or your body and you're denying it. Nope, nothing's wrong. I'm not going to the doctors. I'm not going to address this. Everything is going to be okay, but you need some attention. Maybe it's your finances. You don't want to take a look at your financial picture to see exactly where you are, but doing so would give you a platform to create something new. And that denial is putting you in a more detrimental position financially. Okay, so those are just some examples. And this full moon eclipse may reveal to you where you are out of touch with reality, reveal fears. Maybe you have a dream or a desire that needs to be updated because it's out of date. Looking at beliefs and thoughts, behaviors, concepts of reality. I think there's going to be a big revealing for a lot of people individually on the world scene. Maybe you've already had it in this eclipse season, and so the lunar eclipse is going to help you to complete it. It's like, oh, I see it now, I get it, I'm letting it go. All right? Okay, good. So all of this is designed to help you to step into your power, move on to a higher path of potential, and to create something new. So please keep that in mind. If you do have an eclipse moment that is really difficult and emotional, and you have one of those surprises that is not pleasant, acknowledge it, express the emotions. Of course, don't hold it in. But as soon as you're able to consciously reframe it and understand, obviously this needs to go in order for me to create what I want on that higher path of potential. Okay, do a reframe, get somebody like myself to help you to do a reframe. It's very important. Now, because the full moon is in the sign of Scorpio, that means Scorpio themes are coming up for this realization, for the release, the closures, the ending, emotional moments. All right, so let's go through Scorpio themes. The major Scorpio theme is death and rebirth, and I really see that with this lunar eclipse. Like, something is going to end, full stop, but you get to rebirth it, and something new, something better. It's a real transformation of self, all right? Or a transformation of your finances, or a real transformation of your relationships, or your career, or your passion, whatever it is that comes up for you. Speaking of passion, what you're passionate about might change. You may wake up and realize, I thought I was really passionate about this, but I'm not. I'm really jazzed up about that over there. This is the time to make that move. Creativity. For those of you who are not expressing your creativity, you may get that boost to start doing it. Or if you're already really creative, it might be changing how you express your creativity, right? Okay, this is a big, bold energy. Maybe you need to be more bold in some area of your life. Scorpio themes are also what we call secrets. Maybe a secret you're hiding from yourself comes to light, or a secret with your family, your community. There might be a big secret on the world scene that gets revealed. Scorpio also rules areas like astrology or psychology. Maybe you're going to find the perfect therapist to work with. Maybe you're going to decide, I want to be a psychologist. Maybe there's something in astrology for you to look at. Maybe you're putting too much emphasis on mind work, mental work, and it's time for you to do a little bit more of the emotional work. All right? And then the shadow of Scorpio is mind games. Okay? It may come up with, you see that somebody's playing a mind game with you. Maybe you're the one playing mind games with someone else, and that needs to shut down. It could be areas of taboo, like, ooh, I'm a good girl. I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't think that. And then something gets shaken up. Either it's revealed, or you realize, wait a minute, what's this good girl thing, and what's this taboo thing, and free yourself from those chains. The area of jealousy, I think that's going to come up for a lot of people to look at, or somebody's jealous around you. Watch for that. Manipulation, right? Yours or somebody else's. And possession, like mine. I think there's going to be an awakening for people who are very me-oriented, like this shadow side. Remember, taking care of self is great, but there's also the opposite, when it's always me, without consideration or compassion for anyone else. All right? At the same time, there's going to be a Saturn influence, a beam of light from Saturn. So Saturn is that planet. I always say it's like tough love. It wants you to take responsibility for your life. Don't play the victim. And whatever you're going to create, let's create it on solid ground. So it wants you to go over plans over and over and over again. So if you do have victim tendencies, if you are not taking responsibility in a certain area of your life, that might come up for review, change, and purge. Also, it might be somebody around you, right? It might be somebody around you who comes and says, hey, I'm not responsible for you. I'm not responsible for you. Wake up. Or you might realize you're shirking your responsibilities, okay? So look at that area. Saturn is going to make this lunar eclipse even extra edgy, all right? Now, this is so fascinating. It was fascinating to me. Okay, so the last time we had a lunar eclipse in Scorpio to these degrees was May 4th, 2004, 18 years ago. So I'd like you to look back and reflect back to 2004. What was going on in your life back then? Because it's likely coming up for completion, done. For some people, it might be coming up for completion, but a redesign to something new, okay? So I'm going to give you an example from my life. 2004 was one of the most significant years of my life. I got sick. When I was sick, I started to contemplate so many things. I'm not happy with my life. I'm not satisfied with things. I'm troubled. I'm full of stress. There's got to be more to life than what I'm doing. And that prompted me to go see a chiropractor. And one day when I was at my chiropractor's table, he did some muscle testing to me, and he said, Esther, why don't you like yourself? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I discovered in that session that not only did I not love myself, I didn't like myself. And that shook me to the core, because something that was hidden in my subconscious became revealed in my conscious awareness, and it shook me. And I went home and I sat on the sofa and I prayed and I said, God, if you are really here, like everybody keeps telling me you are, I need change in my life. And I tell this story a lot. Within less than 24 hours, like these magical moments happened. I learned out of the blue about your thoughts become things, and your beliefs create your reality, and is your thinking full of critical thoughts, and that's what's holding you behind. And I'm going, oh my God, yes, 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 yes. And I went online to look for information, and back then there wasn't a lot of information about this subject matter, and I found somebody who was doing core belief therapy, and I booked a session. And I walked into that session and I said, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. And she said, well, how do you know you're going to do this? And I said, I don't know. I just keep hearing this voice inside of me that I need to change my core beliefs and then go help other people to do it. And so I had work done on me, and I studied this technique, core belief engineering. It took a few months, and then I opened up my practice. It was a whirlwind 2004 into 2005 for me. Really changed the trajectory of my life, and it's coming up for review. That cycle is being completed. What does that mean? Does it mean I could shut down my business and do something new? Yeah, I could. And honestly, opportunities are coming my way to do just that. Or it could mean that the way I have been doing the business, or the subject matters, or the audience that I'm working with is going to change, and there's going to be a new focus, a new updated 2022 focus moving forward. So I'm keeping note of this. I'm being very aware and observant to what's coming around me, the information, the signs and signals. I am open to everything. But I really do see that something is going to end, and there's going to be a revamp for me. Look back to 2004 and see what was happening then, what might be coming for complete closure or closure, but we're going to revamp it for you. Okay? And then if you have a realization, type it below. I'm very curious to hear what might be coming up for you. All right? And then, for those of you who like to go even deeper, this eclipse also relates to the eclipse May 4th, 1985. So you can look back to 1985. Maybe something started back then that is also coming up for this closure or major revamp. Like it's going to look completely different. And wouldn't you know it, 1985 was another very significant year for me in my life. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about it, because change is good. Change is good. All right. So see what was happening for you in 2004. All right. So I know that sometimes when eclipses happen, people say they find the energies very heavy, and they're in turmoil, they're in unrest. If you are going through a tough eclipse season, and we all do through the course of our lives, and not every eclipse season is tough, but some are absolutely, that just points to there's something going on within that's not in alignment with you, your true self, not in alignment with what you want to create, what you want to manifest. There's something not in alignment with the fullest expression of you. So honor the heaviness, and then turn within and begin to explore what's going on inside. I want to release this so I can create something even better. And if you get stuck doing it on your own, find someone, come to me, find someone who does work similar to I. Sometimes you need an outside eye and perspective to help you to unravel the blocks. All right? Here's another interesting piece. When universe sends us energies that are going to either wrestle something away from us or create a big dramatic change, or there's a heaviness that comes, like a real shakeup, universe is always faithful to send a beam of light that is going to help us, uplift us, motivate us, get us moving again in the right direction. And that's also happening with this eclipse. And that moment happens on May 11th. May 11th, May 10th, May 11th, depending on where you are in this world. And that's when Jupiter, the planet of expansion, good luck and fortune, leaves Pisces, where it has been. Ooh, I just saw a sparkling light of an angel right there. This is an important piece. Take note, okay? Jupiter, the planet of expansion, it expands whatever it touches. So if you are full of joy and enthusiasm, it expands that. If you are focused on moving forward, it will expand that. If you are caught in a cycle of sad or angry or grief, it will expand that until you get shaken awake, all right? But it's also, Jupiter is like that magic touch. It really is like the magic wand of good luck and fortune and out of the blue experiences, all created by you, of course, but it's like everything comes together under this Jupiter sky. And Jupiter's leaving the sign of Pisces, where it's been on and off for the last year. It's going to move into Aries until the end of October, retrograde back for a short period, and then back into Aries throughout 2023. Now, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, okay, which means we're starting a brand new cycle with Jupiter energy, okay? Remember that. Also, Aries, on their highest manifestation, the traits is about drive and bravery and courage and getting things done and motivated and real action taking. So you've got Jupiter moving into Aries that is really going to help you to say, okay, this is changing in your life, or this was taken away in your life, but there's this powerful energy that is sweeping up behind you saying, okay, let's lift you up onto the next path of potential. Let's help you to get motivated and find the courage and the bravery, and let's get you making moves to something even greater. And so this is going to happen just before the lunar eclipse, and it's going to be with us till the end of October, like I said, then retrograde and come back. So it's not going anywhere. This is beautiful, beautiful energy to help us and the world and the collective make positive changes. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This big, bold influence. The last time Jupiter was traveling through Aries was 2010 and 2011. So think back to 2010 and 2011 in your life. What was being instigated? What moves were you making? What decisions did you make back then? Okay, they might be coming full cycle right now. But also look into what is happening on the world scene. I did a dive into this. Fascinating for me. It's worth a peruse on your computer, but I'm going to share with you some things. So remember, Jupiter in Aries, big, bold moves, change, right? Courage and bravery. What happened? We had the Arab Spring uprising that caused change in the Middle East. WikiLeaks dumps started, which created all kinds of change and awareness of, things that have been hidden from us, right? Occupy Wall Street happened in that time period. That's what I'm looking for on the world scene, that we're going to have some big movements like this that are again going to propel us forward as collective, okay? And also in your personal life. Also in your personal life. They go hand in hand. And just as of note, during that time period, Steve Jobs passed away. We had the Haiti earthquake. Now, isn't that interesting? The world banded together to help Haiti, and then it was years later that we realized the money didn't go where it said it was going to go, that there were a lot of nefarious activities that happened under the guise of helping Haiti, okay? So we had a big revealing through that natural disaster. We also had the Japanese earthquake. And then, I don't know if you remember, I remember this, those Chilean miners were rescued. So that's the kind of energy that is headed our way over the next year, all right? So whatever shows up for you through this solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, don't brush it off. Don't brush it off. Otherwise, it's just going to come around again. And then the next time it comes around again, it might be even a little bit more painful. Don't brush it off. Use this energy to make the changes that you desire or the changes that you're being pointed to, right? Because sometimes change comes up and we're like, I didn't even think about that, but it makes sense, or I'm really excited about it, okay? And yeah, use these energies to make those moves. Make those moves. I'm very much looking forward to see what transpires this summer under the sky, in my life, in my clients' lives, the people around me, but also on the world scene, okay? So I hope this information has been helpful to you. If you had an aha while you're listening to this, I would love to know what it is. Please write a comment below wherever you're watching this. I love to know what dots people are connecting. Otherwise, really my biggest tip again is, if you're ready to let something go, or even if you're not, do the inner work to let it go so it doesn't get wrestled away from you. But if something does get wrestled away from you, know that universe is looking out for you. It might not feel good in the moment, just like when a small child gets something snatched away from them, but it's necessary for your dreams and prayers and desires to be answered. All right, everybody, happy full moon to you. Happy lunar eclipse. And it's a wild ride here on planet Earth. All right, ciao for now.